Mr. Thomas Matthew.
Country, Datu, and all of my friends. I particularly refer to Tansri because he was my teacher in Form 5, and I think he enjoyed teaching me. And I also enjoyed being taught by him. There are fond memories there, but this is not the time to talk about it. Anyway, I'm supposed to talk something about my life in PPL, but I intend to digress a bit. And before I go on to the main part of it, I would like to also say something to that one thing here. Tantri Pandile was a roommate of mine for 1 month during a holiday because he was the editor of historical journal and I took over. So we shared together to get the following historical journal to be presented, and he was there all the time. You know, Mr. Tansri, he's always pushing, he perseveres hard. And he always tells me, go take the water bag and go and see the printer. I still remember the name of the printer, Guru Batam. I don't know, maybe some people, old people don't know. Anyway, that's in passing. Now, I've been told by Mr. Ravindran if I could say something. Initially, I was a bit reluctant, and then I said, why not say this is a moment of history? A moment of history doesn't come back. And it reminds me of any court case. When you forget to ask a question, that's the moment of history. Goodbye to your case. You cannot go and say, please let me talk again, please, there no such thing. So in the same way, this is a glorious moment for me. I cannot miss it. So I decided to say something because I will cherish this moment. And for this, I give my thanks to Mr. Ravindran. He has made this possible. I never thought that I will live to see this moment. And I'm sure many of you do so as well. This moment is great and not going to come back again. And for that, once again, I'm awestruck with Mr. Ravindran, the book. He comes in from nowhere, suddenly he says he's preparing a book and all. But the perseverance and his commitment, which is wondrous. Thank you, Mr. Ravindran. And this opportunity is given to all, and I can cherish this moment. One more thing to cherish in my life. That's the thing, so thank you again. But then I also thought, this book is written today. What will happen to it 50 years' time? 50 years' time, what will happen to the book? Will anybody read this book? Will anybody see any interest in this book? They say we'll keep in this library, in that library. Is anybody going to pull out the book and say, oh, is there a book? At that time, I don't know whether there will be a book. But I will share a story on this. I'll share your story on this and say, don't be dismayed because the book will be of use. And I will tell you how. I have a nephew who is a professor in history in Boston, and his wife is a white lady, also a professor. Recently, about 2 or 3 years ago, she visited us and she said that the main purpose of our visit is to write and do research on one, I don't know whether it's Thambuswami Pillai. I don't know how many of you have heard of this Thambuswami Pillai. He is, I have heard some roads are named after him and all. So that struck my mind. She said, can you help me to get some research? But this Thambuswami Pillai existed about 100 years ago. 100 years ago. Now there's from America, somebody comes and says, I want to do research on it. Interesting. The same way. Of course, then I had to go and help her out and all that. In fact, to my pleasure, I started getting to know so many things about Thambuswami Pillai, which include the temple in High Street. The whole land is donated by him. How many of you know that? I don't know. It's donated by him. The cemetery, here and there. So that's that part of it. But you see, there is always an interest. Somewhere it will come. So the book doesn't go of any size or this. 100 years down the line, 200 years done. What is done is done. The knowledge will always be there. So you see, and I am reminded of what late President of India, Radhakrishnan said, we live to part. We live to part and part to live. The same way, when we have parted, we will remain in the books. We are always there. We are not parted. We live to part and part to live. The same way. Now it comes with one more thing which I thought it would be appropriate to say. is that this PPN hostel has been established. We should give some credit, not some credit, a great deal of credit, and pause for a moment to appreciate what NUPW and PPN late country has done. Without their concept, without their thing, this wouldn't have happened. We must think about them, give them some credit at this moment. Think. And it will be only appropriate, but how to do it, I don't know. But I think in our mindset is appreciate. Because today, if not for this, if not for them, NUPW and PPN, this wouldn't have taken place. But and one interesting point which I would like to say is, how many of you know what PPN is? PP, Narayan, what is PPN? What is PPN? PP, what does PP stand for? Nobody knows. In India, in Kerala, they will name the family after the family each family has a particular name. And in the case of Tantri, PPN, is that actually, I have to read it out. It is actually Palayil Pattampura. Palayil Pattampura. PP Narayan. That's his name. So, old man is smart. He extended his family name onto the PPN hostel. So, that's the thing. So, but in conclusion, I would say, but for me, for the moment I thought PPN means, what's that? My mind now escapes. Perum Pugalpatta in Nadu, number Nadu. Perum Pugalpatta, number PPN.